Good morning. This is the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. My name is Dave Burney.
I'm Brent Apperson. Good morning.
Feeling very good about some things that are going on, Brent. My beautiful Brewers are still leading.
They got beat. And somebody's breathing down their neck now. I believe the Brewers got beat by the Pittsburgh Pirates yesterday, and the Cubs shut out the Giants 5-0. And here come the Cubbies. The Brewers can feel their footsteps.
I don't believe the beautiful Brewers are worried at all.
Oh, they're beautiful now, huh?
I've always called them beautiful Brewers.
Give me a break. You've never been a Brewers fan in your life.
They're my bros.
Until this year, because you knew that, they play in the same division as the Cubs. I don't like the Brewers because of that. We're rivals. And now you're a Brewers fan. Just like you did with the Packers and the Bears.
No, I was always a Packers fan.
Oh, give me a break. Whatever.
I always was a Packers fan.
Yeah.
For a long time, anyway. I mean, you got to go. You got to. If you go back far enough, maybe when the kids were little, Chris liked the Chargers, so I kind of like the Chargers, Dan Fouts, and
yes.
You got to go back a long ways. But
yeah, it's true. I kind of liked the Chargers back in the days of Air Coryell.
Yeah, but. Yeah. The Packers. I've always liked the Packers. And the beautiful Brewers. If you ever went to their stadium, you'd fall in love with them.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
I have.
Well, okay. Well, good. It's going to be a fight to the finish. We'll see what happens. The Cubs are in a very important stretch. We're playing San Francisco, then we play Arizona, and we're all right there fighting for the wild card spot. So I love it, man. This is the best time of year. September, you got playoff baseball around the corner, people fighting to get into the Major League Baseball playoffs. Football is here. Volleyball is here. I love it. High school fall sports is in full swing. Best time of the year for me.
It's a good time of year. Question before we move along. We have a lot of things going today, so we can't banter too long. But I was wondering, after the Colorado performance this past weekend over TCU, a lot of experts were predicting, according to my wife's article that she told me about, before the game, they might win 2 or 3 games. And now the press is, all over. They're like big fans now.
Oh, yes, there's a Colorado love affair going on with the media at the moment.
So does that change? I mean, we wanted to beat Colorado real bad anyway. It doesn't matter who's coaching or who's playing. Nebraska always wants to beat Colorado.
Yeah. I know this particular fan really wants Nebraska to beat Colorado in a very bad way.
Now, does this intensify this upcoming game this weekend? I mean, it would be a big coup for Nebraska now to even bigger coup, I would think, to defeat
Oh, absolutely.
Colorado.
Yeah.
So does that make it tougher to play or more? Is it more of a bigger excitement for the Nebraska players?
Oh, I don't know. Oh man, that I don't know. I've never been a player, so I don't know how. But I would have to think that our guys are super excited.
You think so?
About the opportunity ahead of them, because it's a great opportunity. Colorado is the talk of the college football world. I think that we can all say that coming out of week one. They really are.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's talking about him, talking about Prime and the way he completely overhauled the roster, and then their performance on Saturday. I don't think a lot of people expected that, but yeah, they're the talk of the college football world. So for Nebraska, if you can go to Boulder and beat them, guess what? You are the talk of the college football world for a week.
You would be.
It's been a long time since Nebraska's been that in a positive way.
True.
So great opportunity, wonderful opportunity, and we'll see what happens on Saturday.
It's going to be exciting.
It'll be worth tuning in for, I think. I hope, anyway.
We'll have it right here for you on KBBN, of course. Your Husker and high school sports connection. This is National Be Late for Something Day. The heck with being punctual.
All right.
Celebrate, slow poking, putting things off, sleeping in. That's okay today, according to the National Be Late for Something Day experts, whoever they are.
Should you have read this before the rest of our staff came to work today?
I probably shouldn't have.
Oh.
It's also I like this one, International Day of Charity. The day was created to honor Mother Teresa and provides a platform for charitable opportunities. Donate to your favorite charity today. That's a good thing. This one's a little bit interesting. I still find it hard to maybe accept, but this is Telephone Tuesday, the Tuesday after Labor Day, the busiest phone day of the year.
Yeah, that surprises me. If you were to ask me what I would think, I would say Mother's Day would be the busiest phone day of the year.
Yeah.
But it's the day after Labor Day.
It's typically when businesses blow up the phones. Now that summer's over, everyone's getting back to work. It's also a big day for bill collectors.
So this is kind of more on the business side of things, not necessarily the personal side, maybe.
Well, it doesn't really say.
For phone day.
But on an average, phone calls go up by about 34% compared to any other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Today.
Yeah, that surprises me.
So take your phone off its hook if you if you don't want to be. Birthdays real quick. Bob Newhart, funny guy, 94 today.
Yeah.
And, of course, he was the classic sitcom, The Bob Newhart Show, and he also just recently was, in the past few years, played Professor Proton on The Big Bang Theory, which was pretty funny. Get the page apart there. Michael Keaton is 72 today. Beetlejuice and Batman. Al Stewart, a Scottish singer-songwriter, broke out in the 70s with his big hit, The Year of the Cat. And that is a pretty cool album. If you ever get a chance to maybe buy it out of a discount rack or order it new, there's even a master disc, I think, that came out of that particular album. But it's pretty good. Al Stewart, 78 today. That's your birthdays. If you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to my mother-in-law.
Oh, she's a nice lady.
Happy birthday today. I kind of missed going over and wishing her happy birthday yesterday, so I'll do it live on the radio today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Folks, I had an embarrassing moment yesterday, one that I'm trying to forget. I didn't sleep very good last night. We were all together yesterday and kind of sharing cars and so forth. And I ended up driving Brent Apperson and my wife home, and they were sitting in the back seat of my Acadia, and I felt like I was a taxi driver or a chauffeur.
Yeah, I felt like I was in my first Uber. It was kind of exciting. Joan and I enjoyed it. We loved being chauffeured around by you.
I know.
It was great.
I didn't take the main highway. I took the side streets because I didn't want to be seen chauffeuring Brent and Joan. I would want to be seen driving to Ansley Lumber and doing some shopping there, because that means I'm a smart guy, smart person, because they'll help with any of the building projects you have with good quality supplies and products. They can also help you, in some cases, plan the project. They have software there that they can sit down and use to create a new home, an addition, even post frame buildings. And they have all the supplies for that as well. And this time of year, a lot of times when it cools off a little bit, we're getting towards now, we're going to hopefully get some cooler temperatures. It was 102 over the weekend and 97 yesterday. Really warm, but we're going to cool off, and then a lot of times that's when you go out and get those shingles replaced, so you don't damage them when you're working on them. They have the Markley shingles, Tamco, and the GAFs. They also have composite decking, Armadillo and TimberTech. They have the Diamond Coat siding and deck railing, Pella and Marvin windows. Here's the thing, though, premium lumber. They try their very best to have the highest quality of lumber and trusses and so forth for you. And they're also a hardware store in a way. They have the ultimate lawn fertilizer, and then they have ag supplies, fencing, creosote, copper, and hedge posts, staple guns, and tools. If you haven't been there, you're going to love it because it's really a historic building when you go into the lumber yard, but it's so nice and neat and well supplied and organized. You're going to love shopping there. And they carry plumbing and electrical supplies, Benjamin Moore paint. They got it all. Call them for more information at 935-1815 or stop by Ansley Lumber and Supply, locally owned and operated in downtown Ansley, America. And they're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30, Saturday, 8 to noon. And don't forget, they'll deliver all those good products to you. You don't have to haul them yourself if you don't have a vehicle to do so.
The grocery cart has their new ad out for this week. Of course, last week's ad went through Labor Day yesterday. Now this one will take over today. This is good for September 5th through September 10th. And here's some of the specials that you will find this week at the grocery cart. 85% lean ground round on sale for $4.48 a pound. Hormel Natural Choice Boneless Center Cut Pork Chops, $2.98 a pound. Grocery Cart's Premium Aged Choice Certified Angus Beef, eye of round steak or roast, $5.28 a pound. And Grocery Cart's own homemade pork sausage is on sale for $3.28 a pound this week. 2.5-pound bag of all-natural Best Choice bone-in chicken wing portions on sale for $4.98. And Wimmer's Little Smokies, get 2 packages for $8. Daly's Smoked Sliced Bacon, the 16-ounce package, on sale for $4.98. For the kids, when they get home, the Oscar Mayer uploaded Lunchables are on sale for $3.48. Some of the other specials you'll find this week at the grocery cart: Crystal Farms Deli Sliced Cheese, 2 packages for $5. Florida's Natural Lemonade, 2 for $5. Kraft String Cheese, 2 varieties, the 9 to 12-ounce package, $3.48. Best Choice Cream Cheese, 2 varieties for the 8-ounce box, $1.88 this week. Daisy Sour Cream, the 16-ounce tub, on sale for $2.38. And Kemp's Orange Juice on sale for $3.28 for the half-gallon bottle. Some of the grocery savings you'll find this week: Zesta Saltine Crackers for the box, $2.98. Nabisco family size cookies or crackers, such as Wheat Thins, Triscuits, and Chips Ahoy, are on sale for $4.48. Frito-Lay Cheetos or Fritos, $3.98 for the bag. And Frito-Lay Ruffles are on sale, 2 for $7. Betty Crocker Coffee Cake or Reese's Brownie Mix on sale for $3.48 for the box. And Pace Salsa or Picante Sauce is on sale for $2.48. In the produce section, seedless grapes, red or green, $1.98 a pound. Fuji apples on sale for $1.28 a pound. Grape tomatoes, the 10-ounce package, 2 for $5. Yellow onions, a 3-pound bag, on sale, get 2 for $4. 2-pound bag of Bolthouse fresh carrots on sale for $1.48. And the 10-pound bag of Best Choice russet potatoes is $4.98 this week. Get extra large green bell peppers for 68 cents each this week. Super select slicing cucumbers on sale for 68 cents each. And sweet plums, $1.98 a pound. Some of the other savings you'll find at the grocery cart this week: Prego pasta sauce, 2 for $4. Oh, love famous Dave's pickles. They're on sale, 24-ounce jar. Get 2 of them for $7. Speaking of Famous Dave's, they've got the barbecue sauce on sale as well for $2.98. Heinz ketchup, the 13 to 20-ounce bottle, on sale for $2.98. And then this is for Dave, Fancy Feast cat food, the cans.
Oh, boy.
I know your cats love this. 88 cents for a can. That's it. Boy, treat them this week. Dave?
Oh, don't
treat
worry.
Your cats.
They'll be treated.
And to make sure that we don't forget the dogs, they've got Purina Dog Chow on sale as well. The 18.5-pound bag is on sale for $19.98. Some of the specials you'll find this week at the grocery cart.
Thank you, Brent. We're going to play the game here in just a bit, but I did want to talk a little bit about Chip and Liana at Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency. And I want to talk to you about them because they are excited. They are really excited about having a new staff member. Allison Smith will be in the office here in Broken Bow very, very soon, if not this week. I believe she was supposed to start in September, and I don't know how it all worked with the holiday. But we had Allison on the air here when they brought her in, and she's excited about working with you on your insurance needs here in Broken Bow. So if you get a chance, stop in and say hi. If Allison isn't there, Chip or Liana will be staffing the office as well. And the nice thing about calling, if you just call the Broken Bow number and they're not in the office here, even if Allison is now on staff, she may be out calling on someone. So call 308-872-6996. And if nobody answers in Broken Bow, it rings into the Callaway office where there's always almost someone there. And you can also just call Callaway at 308-836-2201 or stop by 115 Kimball in Callaway, or right here in downtown Broken Bow, or just look for the big red awning. You can't miss it. It's just off, just west of the park downtown. Just look for that big red awning. Stop in. Right now, there's a lot of things going on and changing. Medicare enrollment planning is something that you'll want to do if you're approaching 65. Also, home and auto quotes can be made daily, and the market is currently driving up premiums and or deductibles right now, so you might want to check and kind of go over your policy that you have. Again, Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency in Callaway and Broken Bow. All right, want to play the game?
Yep, here we go. Back to Nebraska football. Here's your question for today. How many games, this is a good one, how many games did Tom Osborne win in his career as Nebraska's head coach? How many games did Tom Osborne win in his career as Nebraska's head coach? Your choices are 150, 200, 255, or 300. If you know, call us at 872-2801.
Go and enjoy delicious home-style food and dine at the Tumbleweed Cafe from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day. Or if you're on the go, swing through the drive-thru. In the morning, grab hot and fresh breakfast items. Meet at dinner for the family at home, but don't have the time to make it yourself? Breakfast casseroles, Reuben casseroles, chicken pot pies, lasagna, enchiladas, fresh bread, and more are ready to go home with you to pop in the oven from the Tumbleweed Cafe in Broken Bow.
All right, that's a little bit of a toughie if you're not a big stats person. What's the answer to that one?
255.
255, wow.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Pretty
when
good.
You put it in perspective, yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Logan Girardin is here from Arrow Seed. We're going to talk to him right after this.
Is pain keeping you from doing what you love? If your neck, shoulders, back, or knees are preventing you from feeling your best, it's time to take action. Whether you've had it for years or it's due to a recent injury, you don't have to live with the pain. Pearson Physical Therapy of Broken Bow offers personalized treatments and flexible appointments that work around your busy schedule. Call Pearson Physical Therapy at 872-5800 or visit us on the web at pearsonpt.com. The treatment you need, the care you deserve.
The music to get your day started right.
I listen every morning.
The Breakfast Show on KCNI, KBBN.
10 minutes before the hour of 7 o'clock. Good morning to Steve Hornickel. He says, good morning. Looking forward to the nicer temperatures Right on, Steve. It's going to cool down. It's going to be a lot cooler in the warehouse for the Aero Seed guys, too, Logan.
It is. And I hope all of them slept better than I did last night.
What happened?
We got a new bed.
Oh, man. That should make you sleep better.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's a water bed.
Oh, wow.
So, you know,
they
it's
still make those.
Yeah, so it's supposed to, you know, be like zero gravity or whatever you want to call it. But I accidentally filled it with spring water, so we kept falling off the water bed.
That is one of the worst ones you've had.
Terrible. Had a little spring to it, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So yeah, if you get a new water bed, do not use spring water in it.
Okay. All right. We're going to let you off on that because this is a Tuesday.
You had a
seems like
long
Monday.
weekend, and that's all the better you can come up with? Unbelievable.
It is. It is.
Well, it is going to cool down. The forecast is showing a little bit of a cool down. In fact, a real cool down. Plus, later on, down the road, a 50-50 chance of some precipitation. So that might be a good time to maybe get some seeds of some sort in the ground, I would think.
Absolutely. It's not going to grow in the bag.
There you go.
No matter what you buy, it's not going to grow unless you plant it in the field.
Okay.
So that's anything that we sell.
Yeah, that's true. Leave it in the sack, it's just going to sit there.
Exactly.
All right. So, again, refresh us. What can the guys and gals out there be looking to put in the ground right now?
I mean, right now, pretty much all your fall, your fall stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Pasture grass is going pretty good. Irrigated grass mixes are getting put in the ground. But then your annual crops, like your rye, wheat, triticale, barley, turnips, radish, rapeseed, ryegrass. I mean, it's all
there.
It's all there, and it's all getting planted.
Okay. I'm curious about the pasture grass. Is that an overseed situation usually, or
Some of it is, but there's also been a lot of dirt work done.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So wherever they take dirt from, or if they're smoothing out, if you're smoothing out deep ruts or what have you, you need to get it reseeded, get it covered, and that's where the pasture grass usually comes in.
Okay.
Some of it is, just trying to thicken things up too.
And irrigated grass, is that like under pivots?
Yep.
And then they use that for grazing?
Either grazing or for a hay crop.
Okay.
Either or. A lot of people actually do both on it. Okay. So they'll take a hay crop off of it and then graze it. Depends on your setup, but that's what a lot of guys will end up doing.
Okay. Now, the folks who let me rephrase it. The folks who have a garden, because folks out in the country have gardens, and certainly. We're kind of seeing it wind down. The cucumbers are still coming on like crazy.
Yeah, cucumbers, green beans, tomatoes, peppers. I mean, everything's still producing pretty good, at least in my garden.
Yeah.
I mean, we picked 2 5-gallon buckets of tomatoes last night. So.
Wow. That's coming off a hailstorm.
I honestly think that hail stressed my plants enough to make them really, really, really kick it in gear.
That's amazing.
I thought I wrote it off. It was like, oh, it got hail, and we might get 1 or 2 tomatoes. No, we're getting plenty.
A lot. Oh, that's good. Well, there's a lot of different conversations centered around how the tomatoes grow in your garden this year, and you hear both real good and not so good.
Yep, there's no in between this year. It's either you're doing phenomenal or you're not.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess is it too late to plant anything like late fall crops? Or
no, I mean, you can get any of your root vegetables. Still get a good crop of beets, parsnips, turnips, that type of stuff, radishes. They like the cool nights. That's what really makes them go. You could probably get a lettuce crop in there if you have some rabbits to feed, anything like that.
Okay. Well, they're always hungry. So.
Exactly. But,
and you might be looking to dig up some potatoes here pretty soon, which is always, I think that's pretty cool when you dig up potatoes.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So if you had some potatoes in the ground, won't be long, you'll be able to sack those up and use them all winter.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Just be sure to put them somewhere, dark so they don't see you because they have so many eyes that
don't want to be looked at all winter.
So,
and they'll grow more eyes too, right?
Exactly. Yeah, if you don't store potatoes right, they will start to grow on you.
Yeah.
So they need to be in a dark, cool place.
Okay. All right.
With airflow, I should mention.
When we get to the point where the crops have been harvested off of the gardens, got any recommendations? Do you just buzz yours off? Do you leave it there? What's the recommendation?
It depends on how much time I have.
Okay. Well, if you have time.
If you have time, remove the residue, or not the residue, but the skeletons, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like tomatoes and peppers and all that stuff. Either just knock them down, mow them over, take them completely out of there, do whatever, and then you can put a cover crop on. I think you've done that past couple years.
Yep. I'm going to do it again, too. It's fun.
It is.
I like it because when it snows, you look out and there's a green patch there.
Exactly.
Cool. And it's also, really has paid off. And, the worms are everywhere when you dig in the dirt a little bit. Mm-hmm. So kind of shows you what it does.
Yeah, if you have a healthy soil ecosystem, this can be said for gardens as well as fields. Mm-hmm. The healthier the soil, the healthier the vegetation, the healthier the plants. And it's just all full circle, I guess.
I was going to say it eliminates weeding, but I got about halfway through the growing season and the weeds, once the rye was gone or not growing. But I should have done it at least twice, and I haven't yet. So you have to kind of search for the cucumbers amongst the weeds. I don't know if anybody else is doing that, but I'm guessing maybe they are.
That sounds like it could be a book of some sort. Cucumbers amongst the weeds.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's pretty deep. I don't know.
Or a country song.
Ooh, yeah, that could be.
That'd make a great country song. So we've asked you some questions. There's something that you had on your mind that you wanted to remind folks of today, other than
just it's time to plant.
Okay. And then the other thing that's I know on your mind, there's the plants, and then there's the plots, and there's the hunting, and fall brings out Brent was talking about how much he likes fall. You like it for another reason.
I do. Well, the football's good.
Yeah, it's very good.
Except for certain aspects of the football season so far.
It's early.
It is. I got faith. I think, Deion Sanders, he might have a great team, but TCU this weekend got beat by Colorado, but TCU also had 500-plus yards of offense.
Yes, they moved the ball for sure. Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah,
I don't know. I like fall because I can go shoot a limit of doves or ducks or a deer, anything like that, and still make it back in time for kickoff.
There you go.
And you can also, because you have the products and supplies to process your own, especially on the deer side, but any type of meat.
Mm-hmm. So there's nothing better than watching a football game in the fall. You get that nice crisp fall Saturday, and maybe have some friends over. And you go, I've got some summer sausage that I could probably share. Mm-hmm. And then you look in the freezer and you go, oh, I've also got some jerky. Oh, I've also got some brats.
Brats would be good. Yeah.
And then you look at those brats and you go, I should cook those on my Masterbuilt charcoal grill.
There you go.
And then
where do you get one of those?
At the charcoal grill factory, probably.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or you could stop in at Aeroseed and get one.
Oh, you guys have them.
We do.
Oh, nice.
We are. Yep, we do. So, there's lots of possibilities, but fall is not the only time you can grill.
That's true.
It's 365, 24/7.
Yeah, you can, if you're not 10 foot of snow on your patio, you can still grill.
They make shovels, Dave.
I know, but my hands don't fit them very well. No, you're right. People grill all year round anymore, so it's just nice, and it also evens out the duties a little bit in the kitchen, I think, because the guys seem to like to grill outside, and gives a little relief to well, spreads out the duties a little bit. So.
A little bit.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Okay. I think we're done. We got it covered.
Yeah, I think we're golden. So yeah, if you've got anything you need to plant, or you don't have anything and you need to plant, come and see us at Aeroseed, because we can get you covered.
Okay. Yeah, you can.
We can.
Logan.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for that awful joke, too. That was a bad one. News is next on a Tuesday.
You are listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Go, go, go! On KCNI, KBBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
CBS News Brief. Thousands have finally been able to make their way out of the Burning Man Festival in Nevada desert after they were trapped by heavy rain and deep mud. This man says it was no joke.
The first days were all fun and games, but then it got super real when people were afraid and it was muddy.
Enrique Tarrio will be sentenced today. The former national chairman of the Proud Boys was convicted of seditious conspiracy in the January 6th insurrection. Prosecutors want more than 30 years, although he'll probably get less.
The judge will sentence Tarrio today has handed down prison terms that are just half of what prosecutors have sought in the Proud Boys cases so far.
That's CBS's Scott McFarland. First Lady Jill Biden has COVID. President Biden does not.
The president, as you'll recall, has had COVID once last July, and he'll have to be tested routinely this week because he's slated to head to India and Vietnam for a pair of summits in just 3 days.
CBS's Nancy Chris, CBS News Brief. I'm Linda Kenyon.
In Nebraska news, troopers with the Nebraska State Patrol were responding to an incident on Interstate 80 near Big Springs Saturday afternoon when 3 patrol units were struck while parked on the shoulder. Troopers were dispatched to a report of 2 people arguing on the shoulder of Interstate 80 near mile marker 109 at 3 p.m. Upon arrival, troopers discovered a man and a woman who had been traveling together engaged in a verbal confrontation on the shoulder. 3 troopers arrived on the scene and parked on the shoulder of I-80. While the troopers were addressing their altercation, a Honda Civic drove onto the shoulder and struck one of the cruisers, pushing it forward into the other 2 cruisers. Nobody was inside the cruisers at the time of the crash. Troopers immediately rushed to help the driver. The driver was transported to an Ogallala Community Hospital by the Ogallala Fire Department, which believed to be non-life-threatening injuries that were treated. The initial incident was resolved with no citations. The 2 parties separated. No troopers were injured during the incident. The Keith County Sheriff's Office will investigate the crash. That's Nebraska News.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
In college football, week 1 came to a close with the biggest upset as Duke beat number 9 Clemson 28-7. The Tigers did not help themselves in this one. They turned it over 3 times, had 2 blocked field goals, and were inside the Duke 10-yard line 3 times, came away with no points. For the Blue Devils, it's their first win over a top 10 team since 1989 when they beat Clemson. In baseball games of note, the Astros down the Rangers 13-6, while the Mariners lost to the Reds 6-3. Houston moves into a tie with Seattle for first place in the AL West. Texas remains a game back. Cubs shut out the Giants 5-0, while the Diamondbacks defeat the Rockies 4-2. Cincinnati and Arizona remain tied for the final wildcard spot in the National League. Miami, who had the night off, is a half game back. San Francisco is 1 game back. Blue Jays edge the A's 6-5 in 10 innings. Toronto moves a half game back of Texas for the final wildcard spot in the American League. You had the Brewers losing to the Pirates 4-2. Milwaukee's lead on Chicago atop the NL Centrals down to 2.5 games.
Here's a look at your weatherology forecast. For today, we'll have sunshine to start, then increasing clouds into the afternoon with highs working up into the upper 70s. Winds becoming breezy from the northwest. Then for tonight, partly cloudy skies, still breezy, a low of 46. Wednesday, ample amounts of sunshine with highs up closer to 80. And for Thursday, still lots of sunshine, high of 88 degrees. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Michael Caro.
You're listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show with Dave and Brent.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. But right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top. helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
It is 56 degrees under a clear sky. Winds are light out of the northwest. Barometric pressure continues to rise this morning at 29.86. Humidity at 90%. Our high yesterday was 97, an overnight low of 52. Sunset at 8:07 today. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:09. No measurable precipitation so far this month. There was kind of a weird thunderstorm warning in effect last night that Brent covered till about 9:45.
Yeah, it went into effect, I think, about 9:05, 9:06, somewhere in there, and then went until 9:45. I think the main thing with that was they had measured some wind gusts that got up to around 70 miles an hour with some of the thunderstorm activity kind of between North Platte and Gothenburg is kind of where it was. And once those wind gusts got up there, it kind of went into a severe status for a few minutes. So,
okay. No moisture, just a little.
Yeah, I really don't know if anybody got much moisture out of what was occurring, but I sure hope somebody did. Yeah, man, we need it.
Would be nice. Looks like Shannon is outside looking in. I'm not sure what that means. Let's find out.
Yeah. Hi, Shannon. Hi.
How are y'all?
Hi,
good.
Fine.
What's up?
I was just telling you your next guest is here.
Well, bring him on in.
Okay, here we go.
Bring him on in. We'll just take a quick break and get set up for our next guest.
Barney Health Mart in Broken Bow is excited to announce a new product, Skeeter Spray. Mosquitoes can take away the enjoyment of outdoor activities. Not anymore with the help of this DEET-free insect repellent that is made with essential oils. Plus, it comes in a handy 2-ounce container for easy carry-along anywhere you go. Say goodbye to mosquitoes and visit Barney Health Mart downtown Broken Bow. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Not skipping breakfast is an important part of your overall health, so don't ever skip out on your financial health either. Bruning Bank has a full regiment dedicated to keeping your finances in shape. Earn interest on your checking account with Premier Checking. Signing up or switching is easy and can be done remotely. Enroll in CreditSense to monitor your credit score and learn what you're doing well or could improve upon. It's free and a part of mobile and online banking. Call or stop by today. Bruning Bank. Build, grow, thrive. Member FDIC.
The Get Up and Go Breakfast Show.
It's the best start to my day.
8:08, and our first guest. The doctor is in the house.
Oh, good. He's making a house call or a radio call or whatever we would call it today.
Yeah.
Quick Family Health Care. How we doing, Doc?
We're doing well. You know, long holiday. We were in Omaha over the weekend, had a nephew that got married, so kind of took the weekend to do that, but
yeah,
a little time to recover. You know, it's bad when you get to be my age and you have to wear what's called a CPAP. So I took it out, loaded everything in the car yesterday morning, got home last night about 4:30, and no CPAP.
Oh, no.
So I called the hotel. Oh, yeah, well, somebody picked it up out of the parking lot and brought it in.
Oh, no.
So I turned around and drove back to Omaha.
Oh, no. Oh,
so, yeah, it's kind of a short night, but not a bad.
Yeah.
So, memory issue. No, I don't know. I honestly don't know how I'd ever got off my suitcase because I had it strapped on the top of my suitcase. So, but, things happen. So I got to spend 6 hours of me time.
There you go.
Which is always good.
I guess it's a good time to, reminisce and think about the wedding and all of that.
But speaking of what you're talking about, those have become game changers, though, haven't they?
They are.
People,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
CPAP. My wife's been telling me for years I needed one because I was snored and she kept saying I was stop breathing and those kind of things, and I got one, and I can't believe the difference it makes in my energy level. I don't 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm not ready to go take a nap. I wake up in the morning, I feel refreshed. So that's the reason I went and got it, because I just can't stand to sleep without it anymore. So it definitely is a game changer. And one thing we offered our customers, we work with a company called WatchPat. So actually it's the sleep study industry has gone from being inpatient to all being in-home. Most insurance companies won't even pay for it in-home or an in-hospital or in-facility unless you've had it in-home and that you may need you've got severe apnea, or you may need titrated because you may need oxygen as well as a CPAP, those kind of things. But we work with a company called WatchPat, and we charge $200. That's for the machine, or I'm sorry, for the actual study, as well as having the pulmonologist read it. And, it's a sweet deal. Again, we don't really make any money on it. We just do that as a service for our patients. But we've been doing it about 8 months, and I think we have 12 or 13 CPAPs, people that weren't on CPAP before that are now on them. So, again, it's just one of those things that we can offer to our customers in-house. They don't have to go to a DME company. They don't have to go to a facility, and they can deal directly with us. And they do the study, and usually the next day I have the report back.
Oh, really?
From Dr. Cantrell. So
there's a lot of, like everything on the medical side anymore, a lot of advertisements out there about the different options nowadays. They're coming up with different things. But what you offer here is, I think, reliable information and a product that works, right?
The WatchPat, the actual device, that's what I did mine on before I ever signed up with the company. And I talked to Dr. Cantrell, who's a pulmonologist, about it before I did it. And, he's very comfortable reading them. He's saying this is state of the art. But yeah, there's all sorts of things. I've never, ever had a customer who told me they got a sinus infection from their CPAP machine being dirty. But, there are these manufacturers out there selling products to clean CPAPs. So you can buy for, $60, $50, $60 these UV little boxes, and you can put your phone in them. You can put a CPAP mask in them, and it sterilizes them. So that's what I usually tell my customers. If we're worried about that, just go buy one of these little boxes, and you can put your, cold and flu season, throw your phone in there along with it. It's 5 to 20 minutes, I think, is what they typically run for a cycle. So if you're worried about that, that's an option, a cash pay option that we can help you with.
All right. We kind of walked into that subject, but it was a good one. I think it's worth talking about for sure. And if you are wondering about how to get one and get it done right, Click Family Healthcare can take care of that, right?
Yeah, we, it's a lot of times it's the spouse that brings it up, and to be honest, my wife kicked me out of the bedroom because I snored like a freight train. So it's usually, a lot of times it's the spouse that brings it up and says, I think you need to talk to so-and-so or my husband or my wife about, she doesn't sleep very good, or he doesn't sleep very good.
Right.
So again, because we have the time, we can talk about those things. It gives us kind of a leg up on getting people taken care of, but also we don't break the bank by doing the study. And we work with a couple different companies on CPAP machines. They're anywhere from $700 to $1,000, depending if you get one that will connect to your Wi-Fi and send your sleep data right back to the company, or whether it has an SD card, and you can bring it in. We can read that and see what it shows, how compliant you are. Insurance companies, if you use your insurance, they require that compliance data. So that's why a lot of times these companies now have gone to the Wi-Fi. So it just automatically uploads it, and then the company can print out a report and send it back to you and send it to the insurance company, one of those prior auth things.
Okay. Now, you brought a couple notes, so...
Well, I think the big thing is just it's fall. It's ragweed season.
Oh, man.
School started. And so, we always have the first 3 to 5, 6 weeks of school the summer or fall cold, and whether it's actually a cold, whether it's a virus, whether it's a bacterial infection, or whether it's allergies. And that's kind of hard to piece out. So, the big thing about allergies typically is you're not going to have a fever. You're not going to, it's going to be more of a runny nose, a sneezing, itchy eyes, tickling your throat, those kind of things. Viral infections, a lot of times or most times, people complain of some achiness. I ache.
Yeah.
They can still have the cough, they can have the runny nose, but typically that's going to be a 3 to 10 day course from start to finish. And then, of course, there's the bacterial infection where we talk about tooth pain, facial pressure. People say, well, I must have a sinus infection. I blow green or yellow green out of my nose in the morning, but then it gets clear. Well, a sinus infection is going to be that green, yellow green all day long. So as we sleep, the clear drainage gets oxidized, turns color. We blow that out first thing in the morning, and then it's draining clear again. Let's look back at allergies or viral. But this time of the year here in Nebraska, we've just seen allergy symptoms go through the roof. We're having, people double up on their antihistamine. We will give allergy shots, which is a steroid shot, nasal sprays, nasal steroids, saline nasal spray. So we try to hit it from all angles. But that's been a big thing we've seen since school started.
Yeah. Going into the fall, a little early yet, I guess maybe not. The First Lady was diagnosed with COVID over the weekend, and I've heard of some other cases of people getting COVID right now, even in this area.
Yes.
And I think we're all a little more comfortable and understand it a little bit more than we did the first round. And they seem to have, kind of common sense on this, but it is out there, and it's a little tougher than regular flu, I understand.
Well, for some people it is. Okay. For people who, maybe have COPD or smokers or have another comorbid condition that affects their lungs, asthma, those people, whether it's influenza or whether it's COVID, which are both caused by viruses, can be very, very hard on them, very hard to get through. So, a lot of times we're doing an oral steroid or we're doing an inhaler or inhaled steroids to try to get that inflammation down. But COVID is around. We've had positives both here in Broken Bow and in Kearney from our patients, our customers. Basically, I tell them go to the pharmacy and get an over-the-home COVID test, and let's test that first. Not that we're really going to do anything different. It's other than the quarantining. It's still recommended that 5 days from the start of your symptoms, as long as you're not as long as you're fever-free for 24 hours, you can go back to your activities. In addition to all the symptoms improving. But again, we're treating symptomatically, or symptomatically, that's the word I wanted. We're treating symptomatically just like we do influenza.
Okay.
So there's not a lot. Now they have come out with updated vaccines. There's a vaccination or vaccine with COVID as well as influenza. But that's a whole different subject. Yeah. And, that's a very personal thing for each individual customer or patient, and I don't push them. I recommend influenza vaccine. If they have comorbidity, I will recommend that they do all the vaccines. But that's a very personal, and so having the time to be able to sit down and talk to people and find out what their personal preference is a little bit of an advantage to what we have.
And if they are a person who wants to have those vaccines, those shots, can you facilitate that?
We do.
Okay.
We do not give them, but the local health department here and in Kearney, they're giving them I'm drawing a blank on the other organization that we send people to for vaccinations, Community Action.
Okay.
And most of the time, they request a donation of $15 to $20. My cost on most vaccines for one dose ranges from $60 to $160. So, and I have to buy 10 doses. For me, they will expire before I'd ever get to use them. Plus, it's more expensive than to go to the local health department or to Community Action. So that's where we have a lot of our customers go.
Okay. All right.
Whether it's kids' immunizations or whether it's influenza, COVID, those kind of things.
All right. And, of course, you do things a little differently in Broken Bow than you do Kearney because you have your own pharmacy in Kearney and you don't here. So.
Right. Yeah, we, I always tell people my job is not to take money out of the Broken Bow community. Yeah. So we push people to go to the either Frontier or Varney. Again, I don't have a preference. It's up to our customers where they go. But we really try to ask people to do business locally. Mm-hmm. And it's, most people are receptive to that. Most people want to do business in town. So it's not a hard sale by any means to do that. The other thing kind of wanted to talk about was seeing a lot of kids going back to school. We're seeing a spike in some anxiety symptoms, stress, sleep habits, maybe not getting the sleep pattern that they need to get into. Grade school kids need to get at least 10 hours of sleep. High school kids should be getting at least 8 hours of sleep. And it's tough, if you're playing a sport and you travel to Ogallala, like you guys did the other day, and you get home late and then you got to turn around, you have maybe band practice at 6 o'clock, or you have something else at 6 or 7 in the morning. It's hard for these kids to get the proper sleep. So it's really good for parents just to make sure to limit screen time. Yes. Because screen time keeps the brain stimulated, especially if kids are playing any kind of a video game. But even cell phones, music, the sleep experts say when it's time to go to bed, go to bed. Put your phone up, shut the TV off, and you should do that at least an hour before, because most electronics emit blue light. Blue light suppresses melatonin. Melatonin is part of the circadian rhythm that helps put us to sleep. So you'll see people taking melatonin before bed to try to help stimulate sleep. But getting kids, and actually it's a monkey see, monkey do kind of a thing, so getting parents to get off of their devices or get off their screens to help their kids understand they need to get off, just to try to keep these kids from getting tired, getting fatigued. More tired and fatigued you are, the higher chance you're going to get some sort of an infection.
Okay. All right. And I wanted to give you just a kind of stacked up today. So normally we'll talk for another 15 minutes just because we can, but today we're kind of tight. But I wanted to give you a chance real quick to explain to folks out there, just in a nutshell, how your services operate compared to traditional medical service. So
the one thing that's different with us, we're what's called direct primary care, meaning that we have a direct relationship with our customers, with our patients. We do not file insurance. You can have insurance, it's just simply we don't file them. We actually have more people with insurance than without. And then we have a lot of people with the Christian Share plans that are more of a catastrophic coverage. And even, most people anymore with health insurance that have a $3,000, $5,000, $7,000 deductible, it's a catastrophic coverage. Yeah. So it's a monthly cash payment. Kids 18 and under with an adult are $20 a month. 19 to 44 is $60 a month. 45 to 64 is $85 a month, and over 65 is $110. And what that gets you access to me and my team. So the first thing when you sign up, you get a text message from me that has my cell phone, my email address, the clinic numbers. This weekend I probably had 15 customers text me, just different things, questions about this, is this viral, is this an infection, or is it allergies? Mm-hmm. Those kind of questions, which is beautiful because, in 5 minutes I can take care of it and relieve that stress of that parent or that fear. All of our appointments, our first appointment's always an hour. All of our follow-up appointments are 30 minutes. So it gives us the time to build that relationship, because having the time to talk to somebody about their health care, not only them, what their symptoms are, but we want to treat them as a whole person. So we talk about the spiritual, we talk about the physical, we talk about their mental health a lot. So time leads to relationship, then relationship leads to trust. The trust part comes into the idea of somebody's sick, do they need to come see me, or can we do a video, or can we do something over the phone so they don't have to miss work, or they don't have to get out when they're not feeling well, and take care of them without them actually coming in. There are a lot of things in family medicine that I don't need to see you. But in the world of insurance, in order for me to bill your insurance, I have to see the whites of your eyes. That kind of went away with COVID, but we've been being told that it's coming back now that insurance companies are requiring face-to-face visits, not video, but face-to-face. So allowing us to do video, we can take care of you without disrupting your normal day. If it's something, for instance, your child wakes up and they've got crusty eye, it looks like pink eye. Take a picture of it, send it to me. I don't really need to see them. We talk about the symptoms, so mom or dad doesn't have to take a half a day off work to go sit in the doctor's office to have somebody look at the eye and say, oh, yeah, it's pink eye. In 5 minutes, you're in and out. So those are the kind of things that we can offer using technology. We give people access by multiple channels, whether it's cell phone, my cell phone, whether it's text messaging, whether it's email, whether it's same day, next day appointments. We really try to provide customer service because our customers are taking money out of their pocket and they're paying us, so we have to provide them value. I've always said I could be the worst doctor in the world, but if I'm in network, I'll be busy because people will go to me or come to me because I'm in, quote, network, even though they're going to pay for it out of their pocket more than what they would to pay us, but they will still come to see me because I'm out of network. Our model is we have to provide value, so we try to do things differently, and customer service is a huge thing.
All right. Well, I was in there the other week or two ago, and there was a young mom in there with a little one, and they stopped in. I'm certain they were probably one of your regular, somebody that's on a monthly plan, and they just dropped in because the little one wasn't feeling very good, and you took care of it, and they went out the door. So that's kind of how it works.
Yeah, and we like to have appointments even for walk-ins because I don't want people to have to wait. Yeah. And so, and I'm a firm believer, if Brett makes an appointment, I'm going to see him on his appointment time, and you're going to have to wait. Where, and if you have a screaming child, the last thing you want to do is be sitting in here or wherever. So, we like to have people call us, so we can just say, well, come at 10:30, don't come at 9:30, because we're busy up till then. But we do our best to get people in, and again, if we need to, we'll do a video.
All right. Check out your website as well.
clickfamilyhealth.com. So our name is Click Family Health Care, but our website is clickfamilyhealth.com. Here in Broken Bow, the phone number is 308-870-8073.
All right. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
You guys have a great day.
You too. We'll take a time out with these words.
Serving you as your hometown grocery store, Gary's Superfoods. This week, find savings for your Labor Day cookout. 80% lean ground beef in a 10-pound tube for $3.49 a pound. Or grab a USDA Choice boneless beef ribeye steak in a 10-ounce package for $9.99. Whole seedless watermelon is just $3.99, while red or green extra large grapes are $1.79 a pound. Don't forget to pick up Frito-Lay, Lay's, or Kettle potato chips at 2 for $5. All these savings and more at Gary's Superfoods, South B Street in Broken Bow.
Aero Aviation, let us take control.
Remember the time you used to spend fighting weeds and bugs? Now you can spend that time elsewhere because aerial application is your best advantage against these problems. Let Aero Aviation take control.
When you need a helping hand to get the most from your land, Aero Aviation, let us take control.
For over 50 years, Aero Aviation has served the area. Contact Casey for your aerial application today.
There are fewer words sweeter in the state of Nebraska than Go Big Red. And Geared for Sports in Broken Bow is ready to help you cheer for the Huskers. New Husker gear arrivals are hitting their racks in men's and women's sizes. Perfect for showing your team spirit. And remember, when you need to gear up for the sports you are playing, visit Geared for Sports, west side of the square in Broken Bow. Open Monday to Friday 10 to 6 and Saturday 10 to 4.
Sun up to sundown. That's the average working day of farmers, truck drivers, and construction workers everywhere. And Napa is here to help you get the job done. During our Napa Gold Filter Sale, September 5th through the 16th, bring in a list of your equipment's oil, air, fuel, and hydraulic filters, and we'll stock you up and save you some hard-earned cash. So what are you waiting for? Daylight's burning. Head to WinQuest for their Napa Gold Filter Sale, September 5th through the 16th at WinQuest Incorporated. Serving you since 1925, East Highway 2, Broken Bow.
8:29. Mark Stock is ready to go on The Breakfast Show.
Make us part of your morning routine.
Just really great music, and you guys are fun and active and lively and just a good station.
Central Nebraska wakes up with Dave and Brent on The Breakfast Show.
Well, folks, it's Tuesday. It feels like a Monday, but it is Tuesday, and we hope everybody had a very safe and happy, relaxing Labor Day weekend. Now, today at 1 o'clock, folks, we'll have our Big Iron Ranch horse sale. If you're looking for some quality horses, please dial up the Big Iron website for today's horse action. We've also got a big sale tomorrow, folks, September the 6th. Over 3,280 items will sell on the BigIron.com website. We've got the Dale Seek Retirement Sale out of Keystone, Iowa. We've got Omaha Public Power District out of Elkhorn Center, Nebraska Service Center being sold with some quality equipment used in the public power industry. We've got a tremendous lineup of construction equipment, semi-trucks, trailers, farm equipment, combines, harvesting equipment, grain carts, tillage tools, fertilizer spreaders, all selling tomorrow on BigIron.com. And then when we get into the sale here on September the 7th, several auctions, coal, lumber, and construction. This estate sale is in Wyoming. There's 115 items selling on this particular sale. A John Deere 744J wheel loader, a Mitsubishi MS 180LC-8 excavator, John Deere 770BH motor grader. There's Caterpillar SICK 27B self-propelled push-pull scraper selling, Caterpillar D4H LGP dozers, Kenworth T800 semi-trucks, also side dumper trailers and dump trucks are going to be sold on this sale in Guernsey, Wyoming. Once again, it's a big sale on Thursday of this week. Also on Thursday, Schneider Farms and Harvesting LLC. This is another estate sale in Rush Center, Kansas, featuring 23 high-quality items. A 2015 Wilson 53-foot triaxle drop deck trailer, 2016 Peterbilt 389 semi-truck, just as shiny as can be. A 2008 GMC C5500 two-wheel drive crew cab service truck will be sold. There's a Brent 1196 grain cart, a 2022 Wilson 50-foot triaxle grain trailers on this sale. There are really nice Shelbourne stripper heads, a 2016 Jayco tri-axle toy hauler travel trailer will also sell to the highest bidder. The quality is outstanding, and the equipment will sell to the highest bidder here on September the 7th. Also on September the 7th, folks, we'll have some land selling in Butler County, Nebraska. If you're looking for some quality farmland, 341 acres will sell in 3 different tracts. Jim Stock and John Stock are handling this transaction for the Otto Jack Seltzer Estate. And if you are looking once again for quality farmland, please do your due diligence today and tomorrow, because the property will sell to the highest bidder here on Thursday of this week. Go to the Big Iron website, folks, for all the latest information on all the equipment and the land and the livestock that will be sold. And a reminder, folks, we're now listing equipment that will sell in October, November, and December. And now is the time to call your area rep and schedule a meeting to discuss how proper preparation of your auction is conducted with advance notice. You can call us at 1-800-937-3558, and we will connect you to your area rep. That's 1-800-937-3558, or you can go to the BigIron.com website and click at the bottom of the screen where it says sell your equipment, your land, or your livestock. And once again, folks, everything sells to the highest bidder with no reserves. And we're more than happy to discuss anything with you. The sellers' names are always listed and published. If you have questions about the item selling, just go to BigIron.com and happy bidding.
Thank you so much, Mark. Big Iron Auction Company, always busy, always interesting to hear what Mark and his crews are making available on the auction block. He'll be back again next week. It is 8:34 on the phone line. We have Andy Miller, who is the president of the Nebraska State Rodeo Association, and Andy is on the line with us this morning. We're anxious to visit with Andy. Good morning, sir.
Yes, how are you guys?
We're doing really good for a Tuesday that seems like a Monday.
Yeah, it's one of them weeks.
Yes, it sure is. We'll be off all the way until we get maybe to Saturday, but it's good though.
Yeah.
Did you have a good Labor Day?
Oh, yes. Yep. It was a good weekend.
Good. So did you get away from rodeo, or was there some rodeo going on?
No, there was still rodeos over Labor Day weekend here, some mid-states rodeos and that sort.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I have my sports guy, Brent Apperson, with me, and we're always anxious. We do a lot of rodeo reports on the high school side, but tell us a little bit about the rodeo association and what it is involved in.
Okay. Well, we're the Nebraska State Rodeo Association. We've got about 55 rodeos over the course of the summer with our co-approved rodeos. And our finals is going to be in Lexington this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We got about 150 contestants and out of about 7 different states. So it's kind of an accumulation of all the summer's rodeos.
All right. And Brett and I was wondering about how large of an area you cover. We didn't know.
Yeah.
So you said 7 states?
Yeah, our contestants come out of 7 different states.
Okay. And is that the full gamut for a rodeo, the barrel racing, the bull, the works?
Yep. There's 11 different events, bareback, saddle bronc, or ranch broncs, and then bull riding for the rough stock. There's the women's timed events. There's the breakaway, barrel racing, and the mixed team roping. And then men's timed events, there would be the steer wrestling, calf roping, team roping, steer tripping. Seems like I'm forgetting something else. But yeah, there's 11 different events.
Okay. All right. So they're going to see cowboys and cowgirls from 7 different states, and the best of the best, right?
Yes. Yep. Our stock there's contractors coming out of 3 different states for our stock. Cowboys vote on the best stock throughout the year, and then that's what we bring to the finals.
Okay. And that's at the Dawson County Fairgrounds. And Andy, it looks like maybe you might get a break on the weather this weekend.
Oh, yes. It sounds like it's going to be great down there. Cool off a little bit. Should be a good time.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know that 102 is something that you want to spend a lot of time in.
We've been down that road a few years ago, and that kind of takes the fun out of that.
I bet it does. Well, a little bit about yourself. Are you a past rodeo contestant, or do you just love rodeo? Give us a little background.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've been involved in it for a long time. I still compete in the team roping.
Okay.
But no, it's been a good association, kind of a family-friendly association is what we try to be.
Well, we've noticed with the rodeos that we've covered, Andy, is that it is like a big family, and I always use the example, and I probably use it too often, but I always enjoy watching the downtime where the contestants are waiting for the next event, and they're sitting on their horses and they're having these neighborhood conversations.
It's pretty much one big family.
Yeah,
so.
That's great. So an opportunity for rodeo fans to come to the finals this weekend in Lexington. What's the time schedule and the days?
Friday night, the perf starts at 6. I believe perf on Saturday starts at 6, and then 1 o'clock on Sunday for the championship round.
Okay.
We'll have Calcutta on Saturday afternoon there at the fairgrounds, and our steer roping is actually all 3 rounds will be Saturday morning at the fairgrounds there.
All right. And I'm guessing you'll have some good food there to eat, some concessions, maybe something to drink?
I think they've got 3 or 4 different local concession stands around there. Maybe 1 or 2 of them's coming in from somewhere else. I'm not sure on that, but yes, it should be anything you want right there at the fairground.
Okay. Now, sometimes with rodeos, there's a little dance afterwards, or a little music. Is there anything like that?
Yeah, I think B.J. Jameson's going to be there on. Oh boy, and I should have known this, but it's either going to be Friday or Saturday night. Their beer garden's going to be there. It should be a good time.
Should be. I know thanks to you guys, we have some ads running, so if people just listen, they can catch those times and so forth. And I assume, is there a website as well?
Yep. anyrodeo.com, I believe, is our website. They can find anything they want on there.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Is there anything, Andy, that you wanted to mention that we haven't asked you?
I don't believe so. I just want to, ask everybody to come out and support the Cowboys and have a good time would be great.
Hey, Andy, this is Brent Apperson. I've got just a couple of quick questions for you. Is this associated at all with Mid-States, or is this completely separate, the Nebraska
It is completely
Association?
separate as far as our finals. A lot of our Nebraska rodeos and Mid-States rodeos are co-approved.
Okay.
So when the Cowboys go participate, they can win. The money they win counts towards both associations quite a bit.
Okay. Well, that works good for both organizations, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Kind of makes it a lot better on the Cowboys where they can, participate in both at the same time.
And then my final question, I'm just kind of interested. Are there some events that are coming right down to the wire as far as a state champion is concerned that'll kind of be decided at the finals?
Oh, yes. I'm pretty sure the calf roping, the men's calf roping, and then I think the breakaway is fairly close. I think the steer wrestling is close. I want to say the rough stock, maybe the bull riding might be close. I can't remember for sure on that one. But a lot of them come right down to the end.
That's what makes the finals fun, isn't it?
Yes, it does.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, Andy. Thanks so much for taking time to kind of promote it in person or via the phone. We know we're running the ads, and we appreciate that, but thanks for everything you do, Andy, and I hope that you have a great turnout, and it sounds like it's going to be a heck of a rodeo.
Yes, and thank you guys for your support, and the businesses around Lex, they've been great, and we sure, appreciate their involvement in it.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Andy. We appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback off of our conversation with Andy, we'll give you a little bit more information as far as times and events associated with the State Rodeo Association Finals. Again, it'll be at the Dawson County Fairgrounds in Lexington. As Andy mentioned, first performance of the rodeo will be Friday, September 8th, kicking off at 6 p.m., and then a big day Saturday on September the 9th. As Andy mentioned, there will be the Calcutta at 8:30. Their steer roping will take place at 9, and there's a big football game going on Saturday. And there's a lot of people in rodeo that like football too. So they're going to give an outdoor showing of the Husker football game with a free barbecue at 11 on Saturday. And then a Calcutta will follow the game along with the rodeo performance at 6 on Saturday. And then again, as Andy mentioned, there will be music following with B.J. Jameson to end the day. On Sunday, it'll be Cowboy Church at 8 with afternoon rodeo at 1. So Friday through Sunday, this Friday through Sunday, the 8th through the 10th, finals rodeo action at the Dawson County Fairgrounds in Lexington.
Thank you, Brent. It's 8:42, almost 8:43. Want to talk a little bit about Nebraska Fiserv. They're hiring. Now, what this offers you is a job at home, and this is kind of an interesting concept because they provide all the equipment that you need to do this job from home. It's a remote customer service associates group, and there's a $2,000 signing bonus. It really helps, too, if you know somebody who's looking for work and can speak both English and Spanish. That's a plus. It's all 100% remote work. Training starts in October, every Monday in October, so it's coming up for training. They want to get everybody hired before that. They have various schedules and shifts that are available. Compensation is $17 plus an hour, plus a shift and language differential. The equipment, as we mentioned, is all provided, and they offer benefits such as medical, dental, and vision starting day one. Fiserv is hiring. To apply, go to fiserv.com/careers and search for the number R10315197. Now, I know it's kind of hard to get this all written down, so just go to Sandhills Express webpage, and there's the information there for you, and there's a link there to get an application as well.
Yep. Universal Insurance Agency, ready to go to work for you here in Broken Bow, ready to sit down with you and do an insurance review to make sure you are covered in anything and everything They can help you make sure that you are properly insured on all of your equipment. They can help you make sure that your building values are where they need to be. So call Universal Insurance in Broken Bow with all of your insurance questions at 872-6438. You can stop into their office right off Highway 2. Universal Insurance Agency, a division of GTA Insurance Group.
All right, it's 8:45. It's good to have you folks along. We're going to get our next guests in. We're going to visit with some folks from the Evangelical Free Church about a program that they are going to promote. And we're just going to stay live and bring them in.
Oh,
and
great.
Have them grab a chair.
All
How
right.
you doing, ladies?
Good. How are you?
All right, all right. And we are kind of flying by the seat of our pants this morning, ladies. Just grab those mics and get them down nice and close, and we'll just jump right in. We'll have you introduce yourselves to start with so that people know who's talking.
Yeah, Alicia Hermsmeyer.
And I'm Kate Zudevern.
How are you ladies doing?
We're good.
Are you a little messed up today? It's Monday. No, it's Tuesday.
Yeah,
I think
it
it's
feels like it should be Monday, but it is Tuesday.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming in, and just catch us up because you have something here that I think is really important that Brent and I don't know too much about. So.
Yeah, so we are excited to be hosting on September 16th at the Broken Bow Evangelical Free Church. It's called Going Beyond Simulcast with Priscilla Shire, and it's a ladies' event, so unfortunately not for you guys, but I know you have ladies in your lives that you could encourage to come. And Kate and I were just talking a little bit. Sometimes I think after Labor Day, finally we were able to get more into a routine and settle down a little bit. But life is busy, and we are pulled so many different directions. And so how awesome would it be for, the women throughout Custer County and beyond to have a day to come and fellowship with other women and spend time together. And I love the little statement that they're putting with this is, if you've felt empty and undone lately. And wow, I've felt it.
I think we can all agree with that.
Hello, yeah, no kidding.
Yes.
I think I was listening to the live service Sunday.
Yeah, whatever day it was.
And you kind of had a neat little presentation, a pre-recorded one, I assume it was video with audio that was kind of promoting this program. It sounded pretty interesting.
Yeah. So she's honestly such a passionate speaker and just loves people and loves to reach, honestly, all. No matter what walk of life you're in, no matter what age you are, life throws all of us different curveballs, and we never know what, today or tomorrow is going to bring. And so I feel like it will just be a great day of encouragement, a great day of just getting to connect with others and feeling loved. I think just that concept of feeling loved. We're really trying to push pre-registration just so we can plan food-wise. So lunch is included and an afternoon snack. It's from 9 a.m. to 3:45. And so you can register online on our church webpage, bowefc.org, and there's a link right there that you can click to get registered. It's $15 for pre-registration, $20 at the door. And we just really want to preface, we know that you may not know until that morning that it's going to work for you to come, and so come. We will have extra food. We want everyone to feel like they can come and be loved, and I think ultimately grab a friend. Mm-hmm. We talked about, we have been trying to have a girls' day for a long time, and just summer has been busy. We've been pulled lots of different directions, and so we're excited that we finally will get to have a girls' day together on the 16th at the Free Church.
Right, and Kate, talk a little bit about, we want to make sure that this invitation is for every lady out there, right?
Yes.
This is not just for your particular church.
No, young and old and every church, just everyone in the whole community. Like I said, I think every single woman in our community has at one point felt that emptiness and undoneness and just worn out. And I just think it's going to be such a great time to come together and know that you're not alone, and just have fellowship with fellow women here in the county.
There's probably a misconception out there I'm guessing that members of the society that are members of a church don't have those issues, but everybody has those issues. Life is a little rough in spots, no matter what's going on, isn't it?
Very much so. Yes.
That seems like so. Now, if Brent and I put on wigs and wear a dress, because the food sounds really good and the fee is more than reasonable, do you think we could get by with it?
I don't think anyone's going to kick you out.
Well, they shouldn't let us in the door.
I mean, if you're comfortable, we'll be comfortable.
I like that. Yeah, very well said. So, is she speaking live somewhere, and then it's just simulcast? I guess all across the nation, perhaps.
So,
is that
yep, absolutely. That is how it is. However, it actually was live. Not this weekend, but the weekend prior.
Okay.
But with State Fair and with lots of athletic activities going on, we decided to purchase it. And then we picked this weekend out because we kind of looked at school calendars and tried to find a weekend that was the most free. There are no free weekends. So it was live about a week and a half ago. Across the nation, and I have heard nothing but raving reviews about how the impact it has had and the lives that it has touched. Some great music that goes with it. Her brother actually is the one that's going to lead the music, and so that's awesome. She's honestly a familiar face. If anyone has seen the movies Overcomer or I Can Only Imagine or War Room, she starred in those 3 movies.
Oh, wow.
And so a familiar face to some, and just, a mom of 3 boys. So she knows how to, manage and overcome that. But she always says, my family comes first, and then I love to pour into others. And so I think, isn't that awesome? I mean, just the way her heart for others. So I think that is our biggest, is just that push for anyone is welcome. We would just love to have anyone, and the door is open to anyone. And we want it to be a welcoming and a loving and a comfortable environment for everyone.
I wonder, actually, if as human beings, we tend to think somebody else has, those issues, and maybe we don't. But I'm wondering if somebody out there is just curious about this and attends, that they won't find out maybe there's some things that they could use some advice on, even if we don't think we have those issues. Because life it's nuts. You're talking about, I don't know how parents and mothers and dads do it anymore. With, you mentioned trying to have a schedule, to fit into a schedule to even do this is tough, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think to just, by coming doesn't mean you're going to be put on the spot. You're not going to have to share, and if you don't want to, if you feel led to, we're praying that there's people that are there that can connect with you, that you can share, your personal experiences, but you can just come and just be. And so I think that's the beauty of it too, that it's not going to be putting you on the spotlight and you're going to have to open up your heart to people you don't know, that you can come and just be. And we pray that it meets you right where you're at. So, and then I also just wanted to preface, I know technology is not everyone's friend, so online registration may not be for everyone. And so if you would like to register, but you do not want to do it online, you can just stop by the church, and there in the office, there's a registration form that you can fill out with a pen and paper, and then you can pay right there at the office. So that's another way that you can get registered, right there at Broken Bow Evangelical Free Church.
I wonder, Ben, if they're going to have a small portion of this presentation about wives keeping their husbands above water and organized. Is there any?
Is that possible?
I don't think so.
Very good question.
I know where we would be without the help of our spouses. Without, I think. And I don't. These days, you have to be so careful about being politically correct. But I think for some reason, ladies have skills that are, much finer than men's. When it not in every case, but a lot of us men need a little help. You know what I'm saying?
Well, for some reason, multitasking and doing things at the same time comes a little bit more naturally, I think, for the females.
Yeah.
I sometimes catch my husband, he's trying to do multiple things, but he's very focused on one, and the other is going to wait until, and if I'm going to talk to him, I better get his eyes, or he's not hearing a thing that I'm saying.
Yeah,
so.
that's my wife says to me, "What are you thinking about, Dave?" And I'm kind of staring off in space, and so, a lot of things, but I'm not really making a decision on any of them. So I think we're all kind of running at a fast pace, and we can help one another out, and this will be a way for the ladies to kind of group up, and I imagine there's a little beneficial conversation that goes back and forth in and around this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're hoping lunchtime and snack time can also be a great time of just conversation, just share life and being able to just enjoy being together and just great fellowship. And once again, open fellowship, open conversation. No one's going to be pushed to say anything that they don't want to say or share anything they don't want to share. But there will always be a listening ear if there's anyone that wants to, share what's on their heart or what they've been dealing with. So we hope it's going to be a great day. We're just, praying that we get people that are feeling like this is calling their name, and that September 16th is happens to be open for them, and that they can get registered and then join us for all or part, because that's the other thing. We have busy lives, and so maybe you only have the morning available. Come for the morning. We'd love to have you just come for the morning, or maybe just the afternoon. Come for the afternoon. I know once you come and you hear, you're probably going to want to stay, but we also know you're busy, and so I just think, so people are aware. We just love to have them come whenever it works.
Okay. I'm probably going to put you on the spot here a little bit, but the Evangelical Free Church seems like there's something going on not only on Sundays, but we drive by there a lot coming in and out of town. Seems like you guys have a lot of things going on in and around the week. I mean, that are, I assume, for the kids and for family groups and so forth.
Yep.
This week we actually are going to kick off Awanas, which is our Wednesday night program. We have, what ages are they? They start at Cubbies, which is preschool age. We have Sparks, which is kindergarten through second grade, Trek, and then even high school. So Wednesday nights are our big nights, and that's kicking off this Wednesday. And we started our preschool there today. My little boy actually had his first day of preschool, so nice. He is very excited to start. So he's been waiting a long time.
I think my granddaughter started today too.
Perfect. Yes.
Over there.
Yep.
So yeah, that's pretty exciting.
It sounds like there's lots of little ones. So
yes.
It's going to be busy
for morning and afternoon. So
good.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you had that in your head, because that just shows everybody out there there's a lot going on all the time.
Yep.
So good deal. So kind of want to recap here, and maybe somebody's just tuning in. We got a couple minutes left here for you maybe to pass out that invitation.
Sure. Yep. So the Broken Bow Evangelical Free Church is hosting Going Beyond Simulcast with Priscilla Schreier on Saturday, September 16th from 9 a.m. to 3:45 with lunch and an afternoon snack included. Pre-registration is $15, and you can register online at bowefc.org or stop in at the Free Church and register in person, or come the day of, and $20 at the door, but we'd love to have anyone come that's available. It's going to be a great day for women of all ages, no matter what your denomination. We'd just love to have everyone join us.
All right, very good. Thank you. Did either one of you then, Kate or Brett, did you shed a tear this morning when the kids went off to school, preschool?
I did not. Mine was ready to go, and I was a little ready for him to go, so it worked out well.
I'm just a grandpa.
Oh, I know. But grandpas are a little softer than.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Actually, I forgot all about it till you brought it up.
Yeah.
I'm like, she would have started preschool today.
Yeah. Well, preschool is so important. I mean, I think that we've figured that out finally, that those kids love the stimulation and the interaction between one another. So
yes,
it'll be exciting times for you guys.
When you look at the difference of what the expectations are in kindergarten, back in the day, preschool wasn't really a necessity, because you learn these things in kindergarten. Well, now with state standards, they are high. So preschool is a necessity, and they build a lot of foundational skills to prepare them for the next year's. So
it makes a big difference.
Yep.
Ladies, thanks a lot for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, come back and see us.
Will do.
News is next.
You are listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Go, go, go! On KCNI, KBBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
CBS News Brief. A convicted killer who escaped last week from the Chester County Prison in Pennsylvania has been spotted by trail cameras at Longwood Gardens in Brandywine. Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens has just updated reporters.
That notification resulting in a decision by the Unionville, Chadds Ford, and Kennett Consolidated School Districts to cancel classes for the day.
Enrique Tarrio, the former national chair of the Proud Boys, will be sentenced today for seditious conspiracy in the January 6th insurrection.
Arguing he deserves 33 years in prison, prosecutors say Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio was a charismatic, savvy propagandist who had influence over countless subordinates.
CBS's Scott McFarland. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's impeachment trial begins today.
If all 12 Democrats vote to convict Paxton, 9 Republican votes would still be needed. Acquitted or convicted, Republicans nationwide will be watching.
CBS's Janet Shamlian. CBS News Brief.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Monsi Bolaños.
Mikal Bridges is helping Team USA get past Italy at the FIBA World Cup quarterfinal. USA is up 62-34 halfway through the third quarter. Bridges leading the way with 24 points and 6 rebounds. In Major League Baseball, Angels superstar Shohei Ohtani, who has a torn UCL for the second time in his career, will have some kind of procedure, according to his agent. But he also said that it is best case scenario because the original Tommy John surgery repair is intact and the tear is in a different location. In the NFL, the Indianapolis Colts will be starting their season without their star running back Jonathan Taylor. Head coach Shane Steichen told the Indy Star that they will be employing a running back by committee, and whoever has a hot hand, well, they're going to let them ride. The Colts plan to divvy up the workload between Zach Moss, Deion Jackson, and rookie Evan Hull.
Here's a look at your weatherology forecast. For today, we'll have sunshine to start, then increasing clouds into the afternoon with highs working up into the upper 70s. Winds becoming breezy from the northwest. Then for tonight, partly cloudy skies, still breezy, a low of 46. Wednesday, ample amounts of sunshine with highs up closer to 80. And for Thursday, still lots of sunshine, high of 88 degrees. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Michael Caro.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
It is 9:03. Good to have you folks with us here. 62 degrees outside. Beautiful morning. And we're going to go from the ladies to the guys.
All right. Good. Yes.
We're going to go from church to corn.
All right.
From organized to disorganized, because males are not as organized.
We were talking about that.
Well said. Yeah.
Exactly. We have Guy Mills and Don Contrell with us. How you doing, guys?
Oh, good morning. How are you today?
We're good. The Custer County Corn Growers, I remember when it first started, and I think you met up at Myrna when you had the first organizational meeting out along Highway 2, and went down to kind of watch and see how that went together. Pickups everywhere. The place was surrounded by pickups, and you always wonder when an organization forms, is it going to continue to do what it was designed to do? And I think maybe you guys have accomplished that.
Yes, we have. It's actually been this is our 11th year already.
Wow. It's 11 years ago.
11 years ago.
Wow.
It is, so.
So I was kind of trying to be informed this morning, so I quickly looked at your website for your plot analysis, the results of the test plots. Correct me if I'm wrong, either side of 250 bushels an acre seemed to be the theme this year.
Yeah, yep.
It is.
It looks like we've got a really good crop if you could keep enough water on it.
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
And this year, our plot cooperator is Todd Thompson, and we want to thank Todd. He's an excellent farmer, and it takes a lot of effort to go out and plant this plot and keep everything separate, and then, of course, harvest it, and then watch it all through the summer. We have got a lot of good feedback on this because it's completely unbiased. A lot of them, they have their seed companies, they only put their corn. And this kind of gives us maybe a representative viewpoint of if you would have planted this hybrid on your farm, how would it perform in Custer County? And that's why a lot of people really like what we do.
Yeah. Now, I'll give you guys a chuckle here because I was reading the data was a little tough for a layman like myself to digest. But how important is bushels comparatively weight to bushels per acre? What do you look at the most? Is it the bushels per acre or is it the weight itself?
Well, it's the total weight. Your test weight is pounds per bushel. Pounds of corn.
Per bushel.
Yeah,
okay.
56 is the standard.
Okay.
And on the really good years, we'll have 60 to sometimes 62, maybe 63 pound corn. So it's just weighing great.
That's good.
That's when you get your tremendous yields.
Okay. All right.
Because typically, corn doesn't mature in this area. It hasn't in previous years, but in the last, I don't know what it's been, 5-6 years, maybe more, we get to maturity because we have extremely late falls. And that's just perfect for corn growing and for soybeans as well.
Yeah. Did the summer laid out pretty good? I mean, I think it can be too hot for a while for tasseling and so forth, and then you need that heat to finish the crop out. June was pretty cool. July, we had a few hot days, but we really didn't get all that hot until this past month, right?
Right. Yeah. And it's been a pretty nice season. We started out the season, the cowman was wondering, how many cows do I get to keep this year?
Right.
Because I'm not going to have enough grass. Then we got those 5+ inches of rain in May, and the world changed. Yeah. And the hills stayed green clear up into August. They're brown now, or starting to brown pretty. This blowtorch has really been hard. But really, the last 2 weeks is what's been kind of. Yeah. It's been a challenge. But if you keep enough water on it, now the dry land is just matured pretty fast.
Yeah, I bet. This last couple of weeks, probably.
So it really hasn't been too bad a year. Yeah. Now, last year, there were 3 major hailstorms that went through this area, and there's been some hail.
Right.
But most of them haven't been too bad. I know there's, even like up at Purdom, I know there's some places that have wiped it out, and but it hasn't been a huge area.
Mm-hmm. Callaway
Callaway did.
Late July got that wind and hail.
And I've heard like over North Platte and places that have, but it hasn't been as widespread, so that helps a lot.
I always kind of wonder about 2 different kind of businesses when it comes to hail. Car lots and farmers.
Yeah, that's right.
I think about all of those nice automobiles sitting out, right? You can't get them all into a side of a building, and you have nowhere to go with corn, or soybeans, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, that's really, Dave, you put a good point. That's why we are organized as a group, because this year we have the upcoming Farm Bill. And in that Farm Bill is a discussion is how important is, the crop insurance. And it's extremely important to those of us in agriculture, because there's just all kinds of adversity. Last year we had hail and wind and everything, and this year's not quite so bad, but it's something that we have to maintain, and that's one of the primary focuses that we're even going to be talking about on our crop tour. Mm-hmm. We're very pleased. We have Kelly Brunkhorst. She's the executive director of Nebraska Corn, which covers the corn board and then the corn growers. And he's going to explain and give updates on the Farm Bill this year, and then all the pending legislation that we have on our representatives. Ricketts has a great bill coming up on as far as giving maybe credits for the E85 flex vehicles, and Fisher has one on bringing E15 back into the marketplace. So that we'll have an update there. There's the Mexico decree. That's a very significant thing we're going to talk about. Mexico had an agreement through what used to be the old NAFTA, and they're trying to back out of it now. And they're blaming GMO, which is kind of ridiculous because that's really not the reason, but it's more of an excuse. So that's something we're going to talk about. He'll talk about Pearson Fuels, what the Corn Board has funded in California. They've used a lot of dollars, and I would describe that as a little smoldering spark that turned into a flame that turned into a raging fire, because the money that we have used there is going to turn into 500 stations in California selling E85. And this is very odd because California is, you think like they're the ones that really want to do all fossil fuels in, but yet it's a major market for our ethanol and consequently our corn here in Custer County. So that's how important the California market is.
Okay.
And so those are some of the things that we're going to, that we're doing, I guess, right now.
All right. And those will be discussed in and around the dinner table and by speakers and so forth?
Yes, they will. That'll be a very some more emphasis. LB 562 was something that we lobbied for, wrote our state senators and got into play. We got it passed in the legislature. Now, why is that important? And that was how to get E15 into the stations. And what that essentially does in Nebraska is gave the retailers an 8 cents a gallon credit on their income tax if they would sell E15.
Okay.
And that's why we really need to do this. UNL did come out with a paper, and they titled basically to the effect, will the EPA create the next farm crisis? So you're wondering, like, well, what are these guys really doing? Well, we're making sure that the EPA will stand to the RFS mandate and keep E15 from being sold, because the number of miles are being driven down, and consequently it means there's less ethanol, it means there's less corn being sold, which means there's a higher carryout, which means there's a lot lower price. So this is how it all comes together, and that's why we need to get E15 sold in Nebraska and then, of course, nationwide.
Now, Guy, I've known you for a while, but this has been something that you've been talking about and concerned about for quite a while.
Oh, absolutely. And the electric vehicle is something that people are pushing, but they're terribly expensive. Most people can't afford them. One little tidbit: there was an architect and an engineer talking. He says, "Well, wait a minute. The electric vehicle weighs so much more than an internal combustion engine that all of the parking spaces, like at airports and everywhere in the big cities, if every one of them was an electric vehicle, it would not structurally support the weight." So that's just a little thing, but they would have to be so that nobody's really thought of. But it is. I don't think they're going to come into being just for the fact that they're too expensive and the logistics can't be worked out. You need lithium, and where does that come? Well, China. And there's just too many dynamics happening in the world where we really don't want to be dependent upon China, for our batteries. And then, of course, the logistical problems of people trying to drive across. But there's the allocation of vehicles that, like to dealers, that have been coming back. If people that are wanting 50 vehicles are saying, no, we can't sell them, maybe send us 5. So there's a real problem there, which is probably good for the corn industry.
Mm-hmm.
But it all goes back to carbon emissions, and everyone is saying that this is it. But it is one of the things ethanol does reduce and help the carbon footprint in America for those that are really concerned about that.
Okay. All right. Thanks for your thoughts on that. Let's talk a little bit about the event itself coming up. Some details on that. When is it going to happen, and what are you guys going to eat?
Well, we're gonna eat at Todd Thompson's new shop. He's built I think it's called a house. It's a shop and a house. The house is part of the shop. So really neat deal that we'll have there. And I think that people will find that interesting. So you don't have to be a corn grower to come to our supper or to the tour, whatever you want to come to. Anyone can come. Don't even have to be a farmer, agribusiness, anybody, public, whatever. can come.
Dave, there is one thing we're going to do, and that's we're going to demonstrate for grain bin safety. There's been a lot of grain bin entrapment deaths across the entire United States. We have a solution that's 100% effective, and we're going to demonstrate this here. And it'll be something that I'm on a task force with the University of Illinois, OSHA, and the grain bin manufacturings, and it's a 2-year study, and they are just about ready to release all the recommendations to the industry and how this will change it. It uses compressed air and will unplug a bin, and we can eliminate all grain bin entrapment deaths.
Wow.
So we are really excited about this, and this is something that is incredibly simple. Now, people don't realize how dangerous grain bins are, so we're going to invite the wives and say, okay, when we get you here, you're going to see how terrible, how many deaths that people have died, and then maybe you won't let your husband in the bin, or you won't let your father or your father-in-law or your son or your daughter, because these farmers are kind of stubborn, Dave, and they get in there and they think, I can do this.
Yes.
And no, you cannot. We had training, and we spent a lot of money and time. We trained firefighters in Custer, Sherman, and Valley counties. We put grain bin entrapment tubes in a lot of locations. We thought we had all our bases covered. And we had a grain bin death here in Custer County. So we realized, well, this is not enough. So I talked to a couple of the fire chiefs. I said, okay, we thought according to Purdue, and they done a lot of the work and a lot of the training, they said, if you're within even a half hour from a fire station, you can save a life. That wasn't enough. So we're going to go directly to the farmer and the farm employees or anyone that's ever gotten into a bin in their entire life and say, hey, stay out of this bin. You could die. But here's the solution, and it's going to be simple. You hook onto an air compressor. You do not get into the bin, and you unplug it, and you will not die.
And is this something that could be worked with you mentioned, Don, that you're inviting everybody to this. So I would think grain bin dealers, manufacturers, and auger people, anybody in relation to that would want to take this in.
I haven't seen the device, but it sounds extremely simple. It's just jets of air right at the center of the bin where your chunks will be, and it just blows them apart. What a tremendous, easy, simple idea.
You don't have to go.
And so we want to get a bunch of I want to take my employees and so they can make their own, and so we can put them in our bins.
Yeah.
Where we got a little time before harvest, not much, but
the story behind that, Dave, is that OSHA looked at the industry of agriculture, and they noticed all of the accidents have been in a rapid decline, and that would be like the ones when the farmers lost a hand in a corn picker from years back, or the people on a PTO, maybe they're grinding corn for their hogs.
Right.
And they said, hey, what's the deal here? So they went to the USDA and said, figure this out, or we're going to regulate the industry. The USDA went to Purdue, and Purdue kept track of all this. And since 1964, there's 1,400 entrapments that Purdue has had records of.
My gosh.
Not all have been reported. 2018, there were 61 deaths nationwide. So the guys in OSHA said, we're going to regulate you. We're going to come on your farm. Now, you have the unbelievable tragedy of a loss of life. I don't want to underscore that, but the next thing about this is that if we can stop these deaths, we're going to keep OSHA off of our farms. And I told the guy at OSHA on that task force, I said, give the academic world a chance, because he said, well, we're just going to regulate the holy heck out of you guys and come in and then fine you. And so there's the liability issue. I mean, and there's all kinds of things. So this will change the industry.
Yeah.
And we are very proud to be part of that.
we want to be proactive. We want to save the person before they die. We want to eliminate the problem that might cause them to die, rather than regulation come in and you get a fine after they die. It's too late. They already died.
Yeah.
And so that scares the other people that, or, it wakes them up. So at our grain facility, we've had several fire departments come out, and the firemen, one of the volunteers will get in a truck, and we'll start pouring corn down around them. And once it gets to your waist, you can. They fill up, and then they fill up the corn. I'm doing it wrong. Then they stand up on the grain. We we let the grain come out through the bottom. And once they get down to about their waist, they cannot get out of it. There is so much force pulling them down. Even though the corn's not flowing anymore, you cannot get out of it. It's just shocking.
Wow.
How once you get trapped, you're trapped.
You're trapped.
You just,
and that's what Dr. Fields done that recommendation. He's from Purdue, and he said, find the orneriest, toughest fellow you can find. He said, if you got a Navy SEAL around, bring him in.
Yep.
And he says, they will not get out. And he said, you have in about 3 or 4 seconds, you have humility that hits you. And then fear. You realize, hey, I can't get out of this. Yeah. And that's what happens. It's that quick.
So what the corn growers has provided to the we've got several. Well, we got 3 of them in Custer County.
Custer, yep.
So it's a three ring. It's a circle, 3 pieces. They can get in through a bin door, put it around them. Then you vac out the corn that's around them, and then once it gets down low enough, they just step right out.
And you want to keep it around in person because you can't pull someone else. You'll virtually pull them apart.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and then it's like a boa constrictor. You know, every breath you take and let out, it gets tighter and tighter.
That pressure.
And I mean, so it's a progressive event. But we are as part of this, we're going to have maybe a continuation of a process. You know, we want people to understand how to store corn too. That'll be kind of the next phase. You know, because a lot of it, if you put corn in the bin, you're gonna capture your basis and your carry in the market, and that's as a percent of your profit is huge. It can be all of it in some years. Mm-hmm. So we want to teach farmers how to do that, but we want to make sure you use your fungicides, you get your starch. We mentioned that, and you get a harder starch, or maybe it's adjusting the clean grain elevator chain, because then you have cracked kernels, and the cracked kernels would do that. But this next year, we could have a larger incidence of grain bin deaths just from the simple fact there could be some poor quality grain. Poor quality grain means there's higher cracks. Higher cracks will lead to more spoiled corn, and more spoiled corn then will lead to people getting died in the bins.
Wow.
So this is something that we think that, and I'm very anxious to see what University of Illinois comes up with on their recommendations. But it can change the industry, and we want to stop these deaths. That's what we really want to do.
So to tell you how these chunks develop, you put corn in the bin, and then the it always rises to the top. And if you want to see, if you have a problem in your bin, it'll be in the very peak. It'll go up there, and sometimes it's warm. Sometimes you have corn growing up there. It'll get warm enough and wet enough that you'll have corn an inch or 2 tall. And so you got to check those bins every few weeks, whatever. And then you break up those chunks, but those chunks will go down, and then they plug your auger, and then you got a mess.
So I want to make sure that I'm clear on it, and hopefully make it clear to the listeners. You were talking about a couple different things there. You have the devices that will get somebody trapped out if that happens, but you're recommending the tubes, the air pressure to keep those chunks from doing what they're doing, right?
Okay, Dave, what this is, we use ideally you get a 250 cubic feet per minute air compressor, and they're expensive. So I had a bin plug up 110,000 bushel bins, like 65 feet of corn. Okay, and we're not for sure why that happened this year. I dried about 10,000 bushel one time through the night in a rainstorm. We got a chunk, and it plugged. But I went and rented one in Kearney, so they're expensive. You can spend $25,000 on one, but I do it. But this whole thing, it costs about $110 to make.
Wow.
And this is what the USDA gave University of Illinois. They gave them $600,000 to study and develop it. Okay. So a farmer gets a little humor out of that. But what you do, you got your main compressor, you got a hose, and then they have what they call the Chicago claw that hooks in, and then you hook it in, and then you have a valve, and then a stem, and your length of your pipe will be, of course, the diameter of the bin plus some, and then you'll have a stem that comes up, and that'll be the length of your tube. So if you have a 10-inch auger, you're going to use about a 9-inch pipe, and you blow that out. Okay. Then you pull it out, you take the pipe off, and then you put in then two elbows to create a 180, and you blow the corn all back out. You have to wear gloves because it gets hot. And the corn comes out of there with such a force that, I always said, like your mama said, be careful, you'll put an eye out. Well, she's right. She's right.
Okay.
You need it because it comes out of there with such a force.
Pressure.
You could get an eye put out.
Yeah.
And then you got dust, and then of course the OSHA's in on this. Do you get the dust outside the bins? And that's why they've been so careful before they make recommendations to the industry, because you are bringing this out at such a force. But it works. You may have to repeat the process. But it just, there's different kinds of chunk sand, some that are hard, some that are soft, and some, but so far it's held up and been able to disintegrate really all of the chunks.
Wow.
And like I say, there's no, but now you can die in a 200 bushel gravity wagon or in a huge bin in a silo. So there's no deal on that. But once you, and some of the people tried rods, they get in there and they put a rod at the bottom. But when you got 60-some feet of corn or more, you can't do that.
Can't go that far.
But this is something, and I don't know if the bin manufacturers are going to maybe put it in as part of the installation process, where you could just put it in there, and we're talking $50, $100 for a pipe. Yeah. And then you hook it up, but it works. And I said we had a problem this year, and we tried it, and I was able to get it unplugged again.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a really fascinating conversation and a learning process at this gathering, plus the other things that you've mentioned, the legislation and all the different things. Plus, you're going to see the concept of the shop and house, which we're seeing more of
all the time
when you go down.
It's
the
really
road.
a neat concept.
Yeah. So a lot of really pertinent things that you guys are going to be covering. When does this happen, and again, where?
Okay, it's Todd Thompson's place, and I'll give you the address here. It's 80650 Road 426 in Semble, and it's on Todd's place is where it's at.
Okay.
And anybody can come. FFA students are always welcome, of course. And I can say I mean it, have the wives come. 'Cause we want to show the wives how many people have died nationwide. And I got a PowerPoint, but I don't know if I'll even do that because farmers don't listen to a PowerPoint. No, they don't, seriously. But this whole deal, it will take about a minute to explain.
Okay.
And I'm going to show them this is so simple. Don't get into the bin and go rent your compressor if you don't want to buy one, and hook it up, and don't put yourselves at risk.
Right.
Dr. Fields told me a story in Indiana where the fire chief got into a bin. He was a farmer. And he got entrapped. And all of his buddies said, oh my gosh, our fire chief's there. So there was like 35 of them jumped into the bin.
Oh, man.
They killed him.
Oh, yeah.
And then he told me about, the 10-year-old girl that, my dad was right behind me and she was right here. And there's dozens and dozens of heartache stories that never end. And this will be a continuing process. So I am 100% confident that this will change the industry and this will keep people from dying.
All right. It's going to be quite a gathering here, your annual get-together.
We better tell where the plot's at, too.
Yeah.
That's at a different location.
Okay, where's it at?
Well, it's on Del Valley Road.
Okay.
So if you turn off of Highway 2, you go... Didn't know I was going to have to get specific. It's 2 miles west, something like that, down that road.
And what's the date again?
Wednesday, tomorrow, September the 6th, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Yep.
And bring the family, bring the wives.
So for the area people, it's right east of west of Joe Gransinger's. Everybody
their lane
kind of know where they live. So it's just down that road about 3/4 of a mile west of there.
Okay.
That's where all the pickups will be.
Right. And which comes first? Do you go to the plot first?
Yeah, we go to the plot first.
Okay, and then you go.
And if you don't have time or you don't want to, whatever, just show up for supper.
Go for supper.
If it doesn't work to hit the plot, that's fine.
And we want to remind anybody that's in a senior this year, we have 2 scholarships through the foundation, Custer County Foundation. So remember to apply for that.
Three.
We got 3 now.
3 scholarships. Yep.
We increased it to 3. So.
Yep. Yep.
And and the plot. About what time would you go there tomorrow to the plot?
Oh, what time are we starting?
6 o'clock. 6
6
o'clock
o'clock,
to start on the plot. And
then you go and have lunch or supper.
So about an hour later or something like that, somewhere around 7. I think that's what I told them we were going to eat. Was it?
But
7?
if they didn't want to go see the corn, we understand. If you show up at Todd's shop there, around that 7 o'clock, we'll give you a meal.
Okay.
And it'll be a good one. It'll be free. And
so we're coming up on one of the scarier times of the year.
Yes.
And that's driving a semi through junk jot.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That is a scary time because you never know where those cars are going to go, they'll turn around right in the middle of the highway, and they don't care sometimes if a semi's coming down the road. So
be careful of that, and actually just harvest in general.
Driving a combine down the road, and you see a shadow. You know a car's there. You can't see them in your mirrors, but you see the shadow, and you know they're there. Like, just be careful. We ask everybody, give us some consideration. Everybody's working long hours, and we'll let you get by as soon as you can, but just be careful.
And we just got to get one more year of safe travel at Anderson's, because a year from now there will be cross arms, and that'll all be a much safer crossing. But we've got to everybody be careful this year. Once again, we've never had an accident since it's been built, and that's one. So what do you think the scariest, in visiting with my neighbors, what do you think the scariest thing right now on the farm is? And this will surprise you. As far as a farm danger? Yep. It's driving a tractor down Highway 2. And so some people's thought is drive right next to the yellow line. You drive in your lane. Drive your tractor in your lane. The other thought is put it over, drive down that. We got that nice shoulder, and you're driving on the shoulder. Well, what happens when you're driving on that shoulder is it's semis more than anything, but cars too come and, well, I can go on by. There's plenty of room. And there's not, because we're using, with duals on the tractor, we're using part of the lane. And so they're forcing those vehicles they're meeting over in the, over onto the shoulder on theirs. And another thing that just fries you, some of these cars or some of these trucks think, I only need a foot. I swear, if you moved your steering wheel a foot, you'd probably hit some of those vehicles. It's that close. When there's nobody coming, why don't they get over in the other lane? I mean, it's just scary.
Well, I don't know. I think one of the things that we all need more of is patience.
Yep.
And when we're behind, I don't know what it is about human nature, but when we're behind something bigger than what we're driving, we really want to get around it. So we can see, and so
that is true, very true.
I think we take risks that we shouldn't take. Not only hooking on maybe and hitting that equipment, but trying to squeeze around it when there's traffic coming from the other way that you think you have time to get back in and tuck back in on that side. And I just think we need to take more patience
we're all in a
those
hurry.
things. And again, just wait till the right time to do it, right?
For me, it's not nearly as scary if I'm pulling a big piece of equipment behind, because I'm taking up the whole lane, and they respect that. But when it's just a tractor, it's different. They don't, it's smaller, and I can get around this.
Yeah.
And
my son come home upset. He said, "Dad, I was going down the road. Someone was wanting to pass. They pull out, their semi was coming, so he passed him on the right side in the ditch." Oh my gosh, I don't have an answer for that one.
Well, I know. We see this at our intersection out here. We see close calls at this intersection quite often, and a lot of that you'll see even trucks go around the right-hand side of a car trying to make a right-hand turn. I mean, it's pretty scary, isn't it, Brent?
Scary.
Yeah. Well, and two, when you start to get a line of traffic, and you're the first one behind, say, the tractor, I find I feel pressure from the and sometimes it forces you to do something you shouldn't do. And sometimes you have people that are trying to pass 3 cars and a tractor. But, and so we've got to try to get past that, don't we?
We do.
If I have a line behind me like that, I just take the tractor and get it off in the ditch.
Yeah,
just let them go by.
Lots of times you guys will do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, we just want to keep everybody safe.
Well, we were coming down the highway yesterday, Brent, and I had the cruise on at 65, Highway 2, and a pickup and a trailer came around me like he had to be going 90 miles an hour. And on down the road he went, 65 is just not fast enough for most people anymore, which is a danger too. Yeah. Well, harvest season is a dangerous busy time. Yep. And junk John is crazy, even if you're not in a tractor, because us locals are watching for those U-turns. But when you're in, especially if you're in a truck, you just don't stop very quickly, which is something that.
And junk John is such a neat deal. Whoever dreamed that up. It's so neat. People are so excited.
Brings all kinds of people.
Some of them are planning a year ahead for what they're going to sell. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's a good thing. We just have to be aware that we're going to need to be a little extra careful for 3 days or so. Well, so tomorrow night, around 6 o'clock, go to the plot, which is down west on the Grand Singer Road.
Yep.
And then you go to the farm, which is again.
It's where Tuffy Thompson is on his farm, so you know where he lives.
Yes,
so this is his grandson that's continuing the tradition. So it's awesome.
That's great.
But Dave, we're very proud of what we've accomplished in 11 years, and we're always looking for members. It's just a way there's so few of us in agriculture that we need an organized voice. Yeah. And literally, when you go to an elected representatives, it can happen. I mean, and that getting LB 562 was a perfect example of how we can get something passed. And that's good. And then, like I say, what Fisher and Ricketts are doing now in the Senate is really helpful to agriculture.
All right, one last question that you may be able to answer, but 11 years ago when you first met, I know you had a sign up for membership that night. And has your membership stayed steady?
It's actually been steady, but we had over 100 some farmers at that. It's slightly down. And there's about 400 farmers in the county that could be. But we ask farmers, if you've got a business, get your wife as a member. And the reason, well, heck, if you go to the bank, borrow money, she signs the note, or she cooks and everything else, or takes care of everything, or gets parts. But it's still, we want to convey the message of how important it is for the profitability of an ag operation. Like I say, this crop insurance is one of the biggest things in the Farm Bill, and just how important it is. My gosh, it's $190 for 3 years, but you get $150 back from the seed company because they recognize how important it is to the industry. So you got $40 over 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And so it's about as free as you can get.
Yeah,
but we don't want you to join because it's cheap. We want you to join because you recognize how important it is to be organized.
Yeah.
And that's the real important issue there.
Yeah. Another very important point, if you want to stay organized, get the ladies involved, right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you want it done right.
Yeah.
Turn them loose.
I hear you. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate for what you do.
You bet.
I see we only got 31 minutes out of our 15-minute slot, so we did well.
That's pretty good for us, isn't it, Brent?
Yeah, it is kind of, isn't it? Yeah.
See, if you're last in, then we have no...
Yeah, exactly.
We don't worry about it. And a lot of times... well, it just makes for better conversation. You don't have to try to squeeze it in too quick. But a lot to cover there, guys. Thanks a lot.
I want to thank you guys for keeping us entertained. I love this breakfast show. It's just so much fun to listen to because you never know where it's going to go. And I don't think you guys know where it's going to go each day.
By the way, if you guys are super busy in the field and you need your yards kept up at your home,
that's right.
I do know a guy who has a lawn service. I just thought I'd throw that out there. I don't know if you could afford him, but... He is available.
No, I like mine done at an angle, so he can't work for me. So.
Not diagonal. There's Toby Keith. Toby Keith, country's coming to town. Brent?
Dave?
We have just a couple more things we're going to do.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go do some other things, but not on the breakfast show. How's that sound?
Yes, yeah, there's a lot to do today, that's for sure. I'm sure all of you are feeling it. It just seems like you're a day behind when you come off a holiday that's on a Monday. Here are some things we want to make sure you know about. This is a job opportunity through the Nebraska Department of Transportation. They're looking for a highway maintenance worker in Oconto. The Nebraska Department of Transportation has an exceptional opportunity for a highway maintenance worker to join their team in Oconto. They reward their employees' hard work with a friendly and supportive work environment that encourages creativity and innovation. They provide training, career development, advancement opportunities, ample paid time off, a work-life balance, and a very comprehensive and solid benefits package. To apply, you need to go to this website because an online state application must be filled out. So go to statejobs.nebraska.gov. State of Nebraska is an equal opportunity veterans preference employer. And then the final thing that we want to make sure you're aware of before we go on the breakfast show this morning, don't forget about the special website that has been created as a resource of mental health providers in Custer County. It is mhpcc.org. Sometimes people think that counseling can be costly, but please don't let cost deter you, as many of these providers can work with you. Untreated mental illness can contribute to higher medical expenses, poor performance at school and work, fewer employment opportunities, and increased risk of suicide. A great place to start if you need help is this website. There's also a Spanish version available of the website as well, and you can access it all by going to mhpcc.org.
All right, Brad, thank you very much. I just realized that we didn't read the school lunch menus this morning.
Oh.
But we will do that tomorrow.
Sounds good.
We knew we had a busy day. And
a lot of things to do
got
today.
a little ahead of ourselves, so apologize there. And I guess one of the other things before we close, I looked at Sandhills Express this morning and checked out the sports calendar, which you folks can do out there. It looks like Thursday we have some volleyball.
A big week for Broken Bow activities. It's homecoming for Broken Bow this week. Best of luck to the Broken Bow girls golf team. They're hosting their golf invite today at the Broken Bow Golf Club. And then later in the week, Broken Bow Volleyball will play North Platte St. Pat's at the Indian Gym, and we'll broadcast that on KBBN 95.3 FM. Varsity match at 7 on Thursday. And then on Friday, we'll have our football doubleheader. Our 8-man area game of the week will take us back to Taylor, where Twin Loup will take on Sandhills Thetford. Kickoff for the game, I believe, is 7. So we'll have that for you on KBBN. And then Broken Bow will play McCook for its annual homecoming football game on Friday night. You can listen to it on KCNI radio on Friday evening with kickoff set for 7 o'clock. So those are some of the high school sports things that we'll be watching for. Also back to Broken Bow just real quickly. They'll be hosting their cross-country invitational this weekend at the Broken Bow Golf Club on Saturday. I think they moved the time up for that to 9. So take note of that. Great event. If you've not been to a cross-country meet, folks, I encourage you to attend. There will be some other area teams. I think South Loop and others are going to be there competing on Saturday. It's a great place to view a cross-country meet. So we encourage you to come on out and enjoy that on Saturday.
Okay, so we always learn something when we do the breakfast show. And this morning I ask a question which I know that my farmer friends are laughing at because I asked the difference between weight and bushels.
Oh, okay.
So in other words,
I wasn't laughing at you.
See if
it
I
makes
get this
you feel
right.
better.
See if I get this right. You could have a 180 bushels per acre. That's what you're getting out of your field. And say you have another field that you get 180 bushels per acre out of. But the one that's coming out of the first field is weighing more than the 180 out of the second field. You're really after the weight.
That's what I took, yes.
So
yeah.
So you need to maybe ask 2 questions there if you want to talk to farmers. how many bushels per acre did you get and what was the weight?
There you go.
Because I've always just said, wow, 180 bushels per acre. That's, pretty good.
Maybe we should go to the tour on Wednesday and we'll pose those questions. Maybe they'll be impressed.
After asking that question, I'm not sure I want to show up. There's some good guys go to those gatherings, and I think again, as Guy said, bring your spouses.
Yeah.
And there's also, by the way, ladies out there who run combines and certainly auger wagons and the weigh wagon and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
So bring the whole crew with you, and sounds like there's some very important information that they're going to be passing along, including weight and bushels per acre.
There you go.
All right, Brent.
All right.
Got to go.
Yep. See you tomorrow.